The newspapers have been having a field day with the success of Collingwood. The Demons have been going along relatively quietly, and today we're going for their 6th win on end. Since round 15 of last season, actually, they've won 13 out of their last 14 games. Changes too to Melbourne's lineup this year have been few and far between. In the first alteration since round 3, former Carlton wingman Peter Rode came in for Doug Coop, while the Bombers today were strengthened by the return of Darren Williams, Leon Baker and Stephen Clark. Tonight, we begin our coverage with over 24 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Essendon is leading by 10 points, and our commentators are Sandy Roberts, Ian Robertson and Malcolm Blight.
Bringing the ball back into play. O'Dwyer taps it down defensively, but it's taken by Keane. He also is living very dangerously. Campbell, he's good at these. He's kicked it. What a mistake. But Campbell has capitalised.
You'd have to say that that was really the dry weather stuff, wasn't it? I mean, there was nothing wrong with the intent. However, the execution on a wet day is a lot harder to do, and so therefore the margin for error. And that's where you've got to be 20 or 30 yards clear, not the 10 or 15 as you normally are on a dry day. And unfortunately, they've paid the penalty.
Wouldn't you think both coaches would have said something at quarter time? Here we have back in the centre, Essendon leading by 4 points. Newport tries to tap over. Wilson. Healy off the ground. Wide. Harvey. Good grab. Good play, Harvey. Left foot kick to half forward. Good interception there by White. Buick does the roving. No. Underground kick. Izard. Johnson comes in and intercepts and sees it over the boundary line. Desperate stuff there by Alan Johnson. And a boundary throw in the forward pocket for Essendon. 4 points the Bombers lead by. 2 goals to Folds, and he only spent about 6 minutes on the ground in the first quarter. Chance for Clark in the pocket, slips over, tackled by Stretch, kick off the ground by Healy. And it's over the boundary line, just outside the 50-metre line. And we'll have another throw in. Very, very difficult conditions prevailing in Melbourne. Rain's been falling since about midday. O'Dwyer. Watson does the roving. Kick around the corner towards full forward. White. Oh, great play, Sean White. Still has a chance. Baker intercepts. White does the tackling. Keane in the forward pocket. Ducking and weaving. Back to Baker. Gets his kick away, and the mark's been taken by that man again. Gary Folds must think it's Christmas. About 30 metres. He wouldn't be 30 metres out. 25 at the most, and a 45-degree angle. Gary Folds kicks and kicks cruelly. 3rd goal to Folds, and the Bombers kick away.
You wouldn't believe that. Sean White did so much good work there and almost come off, and the man that he is standing is Gary Folds. It was almost an injustice that Sean White's man should end up kicking that goal for Essendon. Nevertheless, Gary Folds in the right place at the right time.
Beautiful kick.
3 goals to Gary Folds as we go back to the centre once again. And again, Essendon open up a 10-point lead. 27 plays 17. An infringement in the square.
That's unforgivable in football. You know, it really is a crying shame when that happens. Just impetuosity.
Madden put Essendon into attack again, getting underneath a drop punt. O'Dwyer dropped his head but still claimed the mark. Plays on now. Handball out wide to Johnson. And Salmon infringes upon him and so loses it. Johnson, a short little chip. Bailey back to Johnson. Longer, coming over the top, Campbell. Trying to get through was O'Donnell, successful, but his kick dropped short and it's marked by Stretch. Stephen Stretch has Johnson loose on one corner of the square. Baker over the top, Campbell at the back, danger here. Bailey, clear, wider to Wilson. Can he get clear? He's caught, gets clear, needs support, back to Yates. Onto the left foot, hooks it in towards full forward. But the Essendon defence standing strong. Watson from behind towards O'Donnell. With him is Jackson.
Jackson races in front of O'Donnell. Can he gather the ball inside the boundary line? No. And they'll have a boundary throw in.
Interesting watching those two players, and you don't need to go quite as quick on wet days, Ian, otherwise you lose your footing. And you know, that was pretty well played by both of them then.
Madden gets in front of Steins. Kick comes up towards the half-forward area, but a good mark taken by Tony Danaher at half-back for the Bombers. Looking for someone upfield to kick to. Now elects to go long, out towards the wing. Good punch away by O'Dwyer is very effective. Melbourne a chance through Lyon. Newport. Quick kick towards half-forward. Mark taken by Greg Healy. Inside 50 metres. He's looking for a pass. No, he's not. He tried a little chip, but it didn't go far enough. Duckworth takes the mark at full-back. Plays on quickly. Goes wide to Tony Danaher. Tony Danaher kicking to Watson. Watson slipped. Goal. Buick caught with the football and penalised. Well, that's a bit tough in these conditions, I feel.
There's another 50.
A pathetic decision by the umpire, because I really don't believe he saw what happened. All he saw was the player on the ground.
So that's number 4. The fourth 50-metre penalty. Buick cannot believe it. So Lyon is taken round. And the Essendon fans are not happy. Very deliberate in his approach. Let's see what he can do with a drop punt. He's kicked it. A goal. Now, how many is that they've got from 50-metre penalties?
4. The big 4.
Goals.
Yeah, 4 50-metre penalties and 2 goals. And oh, here it is here. Watch this. I mean, this is interesting, this. I mean, it was nothing.
No.
I mean, all he was doing was walking by, and umpires.
Back to the centre. 3-5, plays 4-3. Don't forget you won a Brownlow medal. Williams, wider to Watson. Long, down towards the forward line, and Salmon at the back. The ever-reliable Sean White gets it clear again. He got stretched. Wider is Bailey. He got the loose man and go over the top probably to Newport. No, come inboard to Lovett, but he set him up. Going to lose it. Clark. Essendon now, a chance to go forward. Izzard has it between centre and half forward. It's a high kick drifting into the pocket. Danaher has it twisted clear. Again, Stretch waiting down, and again the mark is taken by Brett Lovett.
A good kick by Stretch. Lovett takes the mark and plays on. Newport fumbles. Tackled by Baker, but Newport gets the kick away up towards the half-forward flank for Melbourne. No one can really do anything with the football. It's like a cake of soap, that footy. And we've got a boundary throw in. Half-forward flank out of side. Just into Melbourne's attacking area. Steins tries the big tap from the back. Punch on. Chance for O'Donnell. Tackled by Rode. Duckworth caught. Campbell gets the ball out. Rode again over the top. Greg Healy. Good interception by Tony Danaher. And he sees the ball safely over the boundary line. And we'll have another throw in. Melbourne have gained about 40 metres from the last boundary throw in. And it's now 45 metres out from their goal. Madden in front. Beautiful tap out by Simon Madden. To the back, Harvey. Tries a flip out. Rode. Kick towards full forward. Kick off the ground by Greg Healy's over the boundary line for another throw in. Very much within kicking distance now, though. Only 5 or 6 metres around from the behind post. And the Demons trail by 4 points. 27 plays 23. Steins and Madden again doing the ruck work. Madden gets himself in front. Steins gives away a free kick. And Big Simon, with over 250 games experience, tremendous ruckman, has the free kick in the back pocket.
Madden's kick. Looking for Danaher. Free kick to that player. That was Anthony. Harvey loses it. Wilson's kick. Back to half forward once again, and Johnson takes the mark. Plays on into the pocket. Big Jim Steins. Quite an angle. In fact, he's going short. Lyon. Now, is that going to be another 50?
Oh, I bet Walsh's heart went to his mouth.
I think the crowd would have erupted if it had been. Particularly the Essendon crowd.
Well, I'll tell you, that one was more a chance to be 50 than the previous
The
one.
other one.
Well, it was a different umpire. Peter Carey's been the one that's given the 50-metre penalties. This is Rowan Saws now officiating here.
Gary Lyon. Kicks a goal. The Demons are back in business. Lyon second.
And that they are. And just the thing is, Salmon now comes onto the ball. And one of the things I was just going to say about Salmon as we watch the replay of Steins, there's that mark of Lyons, and well, there wasn't much in that really, was there? Salmon hasn't been trying to mark the ball and tap it on, and I'd rather see him tap forward than back.
Back in the centre once again. O'Dwyer tried to get it clear and attempted soccer off the ground. Picked up by Bailey, kicking over his shoulder. Now with Walsh. Heading towards the boundary line, and safety goes Kevin Walsh. And a throw-in will take place on the outer side, but Melbourne again have the football in their attacking zone. It's on the left half-forward flank.
Boundary throw-in. Salmon doing the ruck work against Steins. Salmon in front, gets the tap out nicely down to Keane. Keane's kick really to no one, but he gains about 25 or 30 metres for the Bombers, and it's now very close to centre wing, outer side of the ground. Paul Salmon. Steins gets the tap out, but it goes to Izzard. Izzard's quick kick into the centre. Terry Danaher bumped off the ball by Lovett. Watson's there. Back into the centre. Williams tries to kick off the ground. Harvey over the top, finessing to Keane. Keane to full forward. Hughes and Matten. Folds again. 4 goals for Gary Folds. You wouldn't believe it.
On the edge of the centre square. Short again. Harvey. 50 metres. I think it might be a report.
And once again, it's got to be 50 metres, Sandy.
Honestly, they're making this game worse than basketball. Really.
Oh,
Come on, Malcolm. He was going to take the mark. In years gone by, that sort of thing has been accepted. OK, the guy might have been penalised.
Well, you can see where and how he has been penalised. Danny Hughes is on the mark right in the goal square. A gimme goal to Mark Harvey. He makes no mistake.
Well, I just feel that Mark Harvey, he was hit well and truly, but does he look as though he's been hurt by that bump?
Here it is again.
Here it is again. The fact of the matter was that the elbow was raised. There's no question of that. Now, under the old rule, that would have been a 15-metre penalty. Because it's 50, I'm not so sure about the report. I don't think there was anything intimidatory in it. But, I mean, it really was, in the letter of the law, there was a raised elbow after he had marked the ball. So there must be some sort of penalty. It seems to me 50 metres is certainly a very critical margin.
Well, it was the report that upset me more than anything. I think it's just ridiculous. 15 points Essendon lead by. Chance to go forward again. Williams can't gather. Free kick against Williams. Well, one can't follow what's happening here so far. Newport's kick up towards half forward. Good punch away there. Chance now for Clark. Can't quite gather the football. O'Donnell caught by Jackson, but umpire Saws decides on a bounce. Close to half-time. Good flip out the back. Williams caught by Healy. Wilson can't break clear. Good frustrating tactics there by Walsh. Jackson on the bottom of it. A flip out, Lovett. Now there's a chance for Road. Kick off the ground. Keane's there for Essendon. Slips in the very muddy, slippery centre. Kick up towards half forward off the ground. Tony Danaher. Short kick. Back into the centre. Road. Can't control it, but he gets a little kick out wide. Chance for Wilson. Puts the Demons into attack, into the forward pocket. Good play, Duckworth. And he kicks the ball fairly long because it's gone over 40 metres away from the Melbourne forward pocket area. And definitely 2 kicks away from the Melbourne goals. Boundary throw in, Essendon by 15 points.
That is the greatest margin so far in this game. Wilson now for Melbourne, putting it back from where it came. O'Donnell over the line. It's on Melbourne's attacking 50-metre line. Salmon joined by Steins. Salmon gets it down. Walsh goes over the top of line. Dean under pressure. And free kick. Wobbles a punt down to the forward line. Campbell had front spot and got first grab. Couldn't quite complete the mark. Healy will have it in the pocket. He needs help. Hooks it back in towards full forward. He's just come onto the ground and he's taken a mark. Andy Lovell.
A good one too.
Lovell will shoot from directly in front.
Yes, that's what you've got to do. You've got to have steel in your hands, an old coach of mine used to say, to trap the ball in front and push it down and take it on the second grab. And that's basically what he did then.
Chance to make the margin 9 points. His shot at goal is good.
Yes, and just going over that again, the flatter the hands, the more chance of slipping. So the more you flatten your hands perpendicular and you just push the ball back down for the second grab. And really that was a very, very good mark. We haven't seen too many marks, but that's the way to do it, to trap the ball and then bring it down again.
I was just going to give Greg Healy a pat on the back. He kept fighting against the odds close to the boundary line. Back in the centre, Williams, crashed to the ground by Spalding. Umpire decides on a bounce. The players only progressed about 4 or 5 metres from the centre circle. No bounce, just throw it straight up now. Awkward conditions. High ball towards centre half forward for the Bombers. All the high flyer, no one can grab it. Folds again. Tap on Clark, Hughes. Down goes Clark. Crude tackle by Hughes, and Clark will get the free kick for Essendon. Hughes very disappointed. But umpire Sewell's quite emphatic. And Danny, if you saw the replay, there's no reason to be disappointed. Stephen Clark with the free kick. Distance would not be a problem, I would not think. Clark punts for goal. It's drifting across, but it's through. Another goal to Essendon. And Stephen Clark kicks his first. And the Bombers, 15 points in front once again.
Looking at that on replay, I guess it was a little guy and a big guy, and what actually happened was that the little fella's gone a bit lower than Danny Hughes did. That was all right. It wasn't as bad as I first thought it was, Ian.
We're not agreeing on too much today, are we, with these umpires?
All right, back in the middle, 36 plays 51, favouring Essendon. They win it out of the middle again, thanks to Salmon, who won the tap and then socketed it clear. But Yates will be first to it. Again, soccer tactics, the order of the day. And it goes over the line. Melbourne preparing to make a change. Big Steve O'Dwyer is ready to come on now. And the change is made. Coming off the ground is Warren Dean. O'Dwyer straight over the top, winning it. Spalding can't take it. Under pressure from Anderson. Healy, a hurried kick. Wilson shrugs 2 tackles, then gets his kick. Yates taken out of it by Walsh. Illegally, said the umpire.
You know what, I think Walsh probably had his eye on the ball that severely then, and he didn't see Yates there.
So Yates just forward of centre. Goes down to the half-forward line. There's plenty of pushing and shoving. Andy Lovell just stood his ground, watched the football,
and mark it. Would know a little bit about these conditions, having come from Tasmania.
Starting on the interchange bench. Let's see what he can do. Lovell's kick. Hits the post. A minor score to the Demons. They move to 5-7, trailing Essendon. Good kicking for goal in these conditions, 8 goals, 3.
Interesting, Warren Dean coming off the ground and the taller O'Dwyer back on. Interesting move by John Northey.
Duckworth to Danaher, played on. He's got Watson. Putting it out in front of Hawker. Coming to meet him is Wilson. Wilson recovers well. Hawker pushing it across the line. And he slides over too. So we'll see a throw-in take place. Time ticking away now in this second quarter. And Essendon holding their lead. O'Dwyer and Salmon. The latter trying to tap it down to Williams. Clark had an airy. Keane lost it. Stretch towards the line. And again over it. Again O'Dwyer and Salmon. Won by the former. Road has it stolen by Harvey. Nicely done. Wider to Anderson. Can't take the mark. Sean White tried to spoon it back, but Anderson had recovered and White's teammate went to ground. Watson, clever little chip to Hawker. This is danger from 50 metres. He gets it across to Izard. In fact, it was Hamilton who come down the ground. Izard chips it.
And as you can see there, a great second quarter by Essendon. They kicked 6 goals straight to Melbourne's 4-3, and they led by 20 points at half-time in some very, very difficult conditions. Let's go back to the cricket ground now, and we pick up some highlights of the last 2 quarters.
Chip it to Izard or Harvey. He picks the latter. He goes into half forward. At the back is Buick. He's going into an open goal. Oh, he kicked it. He has. But hard for both sides as Danaher Terry is on all fours. Wilson, will he get clear at last? He does. Runs his full distance, shoots towards goal and pops it through. Towards Newport. He's in trouble. Didn't know quite what to do. Then goes down to the half-forward line. Only to see that attack repelled by O'Donnell. To Harvey. Harvey goes up to Izard. There's no one within 20 metres of him. Ball to ground once. Steadies. Shoots at goal. And he's kicked it. What a goal. Bailey gets it clear to Healy. Short kick line. Still on his left foot. He hooks it back towards goal. Play on will be a goal to do. Danger here for Melbourne. Bowles takes the mark. Hawker's going into the square. He'll get there. Yes. Great diving slips catch. So Glenn Hawker, 11 kicks, 6 marks, 7 handballs. Can he goal here? He can, I think. He has.